them ears. KKIV Salem Rama.
Take a toke and all my cares go up in smoke. One toke over the line, sweet Jesus, one toke over the line. A bag of weed, oh, everything is better with a bag of weed. You can try and fight, but we're all agreed, because everything is better with a bag of weed.
Welcome to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour on KKID 92.9, where the green wave meets the airwaves. Jump on the bus and see what Waxy and the gang are up to this week. 2 hours of Canna Talk Radio. Listen to Waxy, Steve, and Tim legally rock and legally roll on the Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour.
Man, the Waxy show's gonna be dope. I am a cannabis man.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. Calm down. That's a lot, guys. That's a lot. The big guys don't get that much. I'm just a stoner, guys. Sit down. I'm going to be in the area all day. Or at least till 5. Then I'm on my way. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour on KKID 92.9. This is that show, guys, where me and my friends we're going to talk about, you guessed it, cannabis, marijuana, pot. All those things that you heard were bad and had fear and stigma attached to them. We're going to talk about it. We're going to bring it out in the light. And we're going to do that in grand old fashion. I've got a good buddy of mine on deck, George Biswell. What's up, my can evangelist friend?
What a great opportunity to be here.
Me? I agree, buddy.
Yeah, me to be with you. I like this. Yeah, it's a great opportunity. Thank you very much. I didn't want to do this over the phone. I think it's much cooler to be in live. And
I
Absolutely.
agree.
We appreciate you driving in on such a beautiful spring day here in the Ozarks, right?
Yep.
Definitely. I got four-wheel. I got the most expensive car, but the most safest car on the road. I got a Subaru Outback Legacy
with wings,
and
jet fuel.
It'll fly.
That's right, baby.
There you go.
He said I came in grand old fashion. George Biswell came in on the Biswell mobile. We're into it. All right, 3:15. I got Justin Trowbridge, the hemp guy, is going to be calling in with Jared Elliott. This guy is I believe, is CEO at Terabotics, right? Terabiotics.com. That's the cool thing about shows like this is I get to learn new words like Terabiotics. Okay. I just learned, George.
I'm not going to say it.
No, but just so you know, I just learned how to say endocannabinoid like last week.
Well, that's
I was over here.
Endocannabinoid.
I was over here like endocannabinoid. Is there an Android? What's happening? But
Endo system.
We're here today, right? The master control system. So Jared's going to talk about soil on a commercial level. They were talking about hemp and other things. So we talk about soil a lot on the show. My buddy Jeff out there, Jeff Underwood, likes to say loyal to the soil. I dig that part when people say that. 3:30, I got Ryan and Corinne from Midwest Canna Expos. Guys, these guys are the folks that are putting on those big parties all over the place. The bud tender appreciation events. The Blaze party that's happening at St. Louis. What's the big
Union Pacific?
Yeah.
Not Pacific.
Union
I know.
Station.
Union Station. That's right.
It's at the Union Pacific Station. It's at the Union Station in St. Louis. That's gonna be a wild event. I'm emceeing a couple of those events and hosting some of the contests there. It's gonna be a really good time. But
and that's called Blaze. Is that right?
Blaze, yeah. But I also have to say, these guys are brand new sponsors to the Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, and how cool is that we've got sponsors out there that know how to throw these parties, man. I'm stoked. 4 o'clock, we got Chip Paul on. Man, I'll tell you what, you said it earlier, our master control system, endocannabinoid system. That's what we talk about a lot on this show because science matters, right?
Science does matter.
Right, so we've got Chip Paul on. He's an endocannabinoid forensic researcher. Right,
I'll be listening to that on the way back to KC.
I'm saying that'll be a good time. Plus, we have it, George, in case you miss anything on the Waxy Brown Flower Power Hour, we now have it on our YouTube channel, as well as my marketing guru out there, Justin Trowbridge, has us on www.waxybrownsflowerpowerhour.com, which is really fun.
Going on.
It's fun to say.
Yes.
It's fun to say waxybrownsflowerpowerhour.com.
That's right.
Well, it's important we have somebody that's got a
On weed.
master's in marketing.
Right, a master. Yeah, he
Right?
wields it like a lightsaber, man. I've seen him
Oh.
slash through problems like I've never seen before. Which, to be real, and I'm going to go a little off script here, and not that I'm ever on script, but
Right.
if you're in the Missouri industry and in the cannabis industry, and you want visibility and you want a spotlight on your brands and things like that, you need a guy like Justin Trowbridge. Like, I can't tell you how much he's elevated my business and some of my other friends out there. He's gone on and helped them through some of their stuff as well. So if there's a project you want, or maybe you want someone to handle like the cool and the goofiness of what we've got going on in the cannabis industry, that's my dude to go to, man. So 420, we're gonna talk about terps with Izzy Clausen, right, from Radiance up there. She's got the that really cool website, www.greenbee-learn.com.
Don't forget that dash.
Man, I got the dash right. Greenbee-learn.com. I got that, baby. You got it. So 420, she's gonna come on. I get so many good call-ins and all that, but she takes it to the next level with that cannabinoid education. So, and of course at 445, I've got Ray from Weed Weather and Whatever up in Kansas City, repping up that part of the state, as well as Canna Convict Project is going to be calling in. Because 40,000 Americans are still left behind, while industry is making, last year, I think it was $26 billion in the United States of America that Big Canna made. So, man, they're almost making that's like $1 million for every person locked up, guys. I think it's time to maybe change that a little bit. So, Canna Convict Project will be on, and they're going to talk about that. George, what's cracking, man?
Well, you invited me to come down and talk a little bit about cannabis and music and rock and roll.
Yeah,
and I made some notes.
We're on K-Kid.
Yeah.
Classic rock format,
There
man.
you go. You
Yeah.
couldn't beat it.
Yeah.
You know, Bob Dylan
I'm a huge
turned
fan.
the Beatles on the pot.
I-
That is a fact.
Yep.
That is a fact. That's a real deal. The story goes that he was playing down in Greenwich Village, and he heard the Beatles were in town, and he wanted to hook up with them, and so he had his people call their people. They got together, and then next thing you know, they're blowing weed in the hotel.
And I heard the story has it that the hotel was on a hill, and after they smoked it, maybe they rolled down that hill.
Might
I don't
have
know.
been.
I don't know. I saw maybe something.
It
there.
changed their music, though.
So and
Definitely did.
I'm a huge Dylan head. Like, I'm a Deadhead big time, but actually, like, I'm a huge. I love lyrics, right? And that's why I love the Dead, is because Robert Hunter was their lyricist, right? He was also a lyricist for many of the Dylan songs. So I feel like Dylan was out there getting the guys goofy, while Robert Hunter was making sure that he had some good lyrics, man, and making sure the scene rolled on. Greenwich Village also birthed Paul Simon, another great lyricist out
no
there,
doubt,
man.
No doubt. Well, I did a little research and looked at the top 10 of Billboard. There's a top 19. And we're going to start with number 7, which was, let's see, wait a minute. No, that would be, if I started 10, I should go to 10, huh?
10 is
Yeah,
first,
well,
and the
thing,
1 through 10.
The Doors, Light My Fire.
You bet.
And that was Light My Fire, light the joint.
Sure.
And Jimi Hendrix did a big cover on that, and but he really didn't want to talk about that because he was afraid that, well, back in 1967, cannabis pot, it was really a bad thing for artists to be involved in.
Sure.
So he never really came clean with that ever. That's what that song. That's what Doors about.
Interesting.
But the Doors, when the people who've written about the Doors said that that's what Light My Fire was about. Then of course Bob Marley.
Yeah.
I mean, Bob Marley did a lot of work with 420. His albums were all about cannabis.
Sure. In fact, Bob Marley had I've seen video footage of his cannabis fields, and they look like fields and fields and fields of hemp. Like, this dude didn't do it small. Like, he was giving his cannabis out to a lot of folks, helping out the villages, things like that, different areas, different residencies. It was
So actually, here's a quiz. What heavy metal group at that period of time had a song about cannabis?
Black Sabbath,
Yeah.
Sweet Leaf.
Yeah, see, you know
It's
your
in my
stuff,
theme
man.
song, homie.
Oh, I see. I didn't even pay attention to that. Maybe I shouldn't have 420 before I got
If you hear the if you listen to the Waxy Brown's Flower
I
Power
would
Hour
do-
theme song, if you hear the coughing that's going on in part of it, that's from Sweet Leaf.
But that's their only love song,
That only makes sense.
right?
That only makes sense.
That's what the internet told me.
I'm assuming they didn't have a huge passion for Iron Man. That was just
Yeah,
cannabis.
might have been. And then Neil Young, he came at number 7 on this list with Roll Another One,
Right.
just like the other one.
Just because that one was just as good. Yeah.
Yeah. You've been hanging on to it.
Yeah. You know,
I sure would like a hit. But anyway.
I'm a
was
Neil
Neil
Young
Young.
fan, man. I'm not.
always.
I get that he's getting off the Spotify and all that, but I don't even know what Spotify is. I only know what Rolling Another One is, so I'm cool with that.
So Aerosmith showed up as number 6.
Oh,
What is Roofin' Head? Is that the name? Roughin' Head? Something like that?
Reefer-headed.
Reefer-headed. There you go. See, I'm glad we got somebody that knows more than I do.
See, I got that song lined up to play.
yeah, he's
Oh,
gonna play
that's-
that one.
yeah.
Reefer-headed woman. Is that
Yeah.
what
Oh,
it
yeah,
is?
that is. It is.
yeah.
And it's it comes from a 1940 12-bar blues is what it comes from.
No
Sure.
doubt.
Well, I've got drinks. It goes, well, I've got drinks. Me 2 fists of whiskey just to get half as high.
That's right.
Got to drink more whiskey. And anyway,
Right.
that was that.
That was back in the 20s, the roaring 20s.
Yeah.
And that was, just to be real, that was really brave to put those lyrics in those things.
Well, cannabis had a big part in the Roaring 20s and
Absolutely.
the music and jazz.
it wasn't illegal
Jazz
yet.
would not be here if it wasn't for cannabis. I don't
Right.
believe. From what I've read about, they smoke it up and then
Yep.
play that
what
music
Muddy
and,
Waters say?
you know.
Give me champagne when I'm thirsty. Give me reefer when I want to get high.
That's right. No doubt. No doubt. And then, of course, the Stones. Everybody must get, or the Beatles. Oh, well, that was Bob Dylan.
That's Dylan, yeah.
Everybody must get stoned. That was number
Rainy
5.
Day.
Rainy Day Women.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
good song. With the exception, I don't like the whistle in it. Woo! I don't
Now,
like-
Sammy Hagar did a version of that, too, that really kicks some ass.
was it fun?
Yeah, it's great.
I have not heard that. We have
Really?
to check that out. You might need to cue that one up. That's a good one.
I was confused about my own notes. Jimi Hendrix, The Purple Haze. That's
Gotcha.
the one that he really didn't want to talk about, but of course it was about drugs.
Perps.
Right.
Yeah.
And that he didn't want to do.
I thought
and
that
then-
was a form of LSD back in the day, Purple Haze.
Yeah.
I think I remember doing
That's what
some
your
of that.
plug told you, Steve.
Yeah, that's what my man told me. But the Beatles, "Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds" has nothing to do with drugs.
No,
No.
Nothing at all.
absolutely
It
not.
was written for his daughter's.
She drew a picture.
Yeah, something. Right.
Yeah.
So, and I
With
heard
Lucy
an
and-
interview with Ringo, and he said after that they started looking at all of their lyrics and
Right.
and,
It's
and
true.
the titles and does this mean that? And
Right.
really, it was just a coincidence.
So much that the Beatles even wrote lyrics. John.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one that was, but they wrote the. Oh no, it was "I Am the
It was on the
Walrus."
yeah.
It was the "I Am the Walrus" song. And that whole song was written because they heard people were trying to figure out what their lyrics were. So they wrote lyrics. They were using school kids to figure these lyrics out. So they wrote that in there to see what they come up with. And
Right.
it was pretty wild, man.
Yeah, because that song ends with "Everybody smokes
Everybody
pot,
smokes pot, everybody smokes pot, yeah.
everybody smokes
Yeah,
pot.
that was the "I Am a Walrus."
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, after they got turned on, their whole music changed.
Yeah.
Of course.
I think we before Justin comes on, do we need to pay some bills?
We can hang for a minute. We can probably do it afterwards.
Okay,
As
sounds
long as we
good.
got 2 breaks between now and the top of the hour.
As long as you're not sending me an invoice, we're cool, baby.
We're
All right.
we're good. We're good. He's calling in 2 minutes.
It's
so-
good
Yeah,
to sit
all
in,
right,
in the studio with the general manager. It usually doesn't work that way in the big
True-
radio.
true story.
They're off in a big office somewhere. This is cool.
Yeah, if I'm there's almost no accountability here on my part. It's all on him. The responsibility, just a baby bit, but the accountability, I got nothing. We're good.
Got a good thing
Keep
working there,
trucking,
man.
George.
Yeah, there
Keep
you go.
trucking.
We keep
That's
the
right.
owner out of the
There
station.
you go.
Do we? He definitely tunes out, but he's here.
Did I tell you that from 1967 to 1976, the top 200 Billboard had mentioned cannabis or pot or getting high in every one of those songs?
I
Wow.
believe that.
That was just little things here and there.
And what
Lots
year
of-
span was that?
That would have been
68,
67 to
67.
1976.
Which is a
it's right
lot.
in my wheelhouse.
Right.
Yeah.
9 years, right. Yeah. I mean, that's
a lot
well,
of
we were
music there.
talking today, and you were looking up that KSHE 95 out
It's
of
the
St. Louis
oldest rock station, classic rock station in America.
in the world.
In the world, it
Right.
said. Yeah, that's
And
pretty
they
wild.
sponsored our first normal concert here in Rolla in 1976.
I
Yeah,
believe
George
it.
was a big
Right.
part of Normal, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
still am.
yeah. You bet. We
And-
want to tell a little bit of that story before you go, though. By the
Okay.
way. After we get off with Justin, we need to talk a little bit.
All right.
But, so I was going to say, with those particular years there, it only makes sense. But here's the other trick to that: is that I can listen to any song, in any country, blues, you name it, whatever, and I'm going to hear cannabis in it. Just so you know, that's how I'm going to. That's how I look at everything.
Yeah, well, it's all things
Perspective.
that's just because you're really a can evangelist. Because a can evangelist is all things cannabis.
I guess so then.
So,
yeah.
So
Have you been anointed yet?
No, I don't. Yeah, maybe I'm waiting for him to give me the franchise fee.
Yeah, whatever. What's it take, man? Put me in the water.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that franchise fee.
Come on in, boys. The water's fine.
There you go.
There you go. That's right. neither the Lord nor earth got nothing on me now, boys.
That's right. He's ready to go.
I'm anointed.
Yes, you are. Well, you know the name. We talked about it earlier when I was on the show a couple of months ago, and my son gave me the name, and but it helps me talk about cannabis, and that's really what I'm all about, and to not just of the fact that we enjoy the euphoria of the plant, but all the other stuff that's attached to it. And
How old are you, George?
I'm 72.
How old were you when you started smoking pot?
22 years old.
In all that time, did you think you get to see this very moment with your own eyes?
No, I didn't think I'd
Even
see
being
it.
a part of NORML and being a part of
I
all
thought
that?
we might get to a decriminalization level at some point. But for 17 years, I didn't consume at all. I was on I don't want to say I was a POW or anything like that. I was working, and my job required a commercial driver's license.
Yep.
And
I would say I was in jail too. But
so-
you're talking about being on the road.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
gotcha.
So, well, I worked in city government, and you
Right.
got drug tested, and
Yep,
so
right.
I know the date, December the 1st, 1994. I stopped, and I started again October the 11th, 2011.
Right.
The very day that I was retired.
You ever gonna stop again?
No,
No.
no, I doubt that.
I don't think you should. You got you.
No, and I didn't really consume a lot of CBD and the other things back then as much as I do now.
Right.
I have a regimen that my doctor says that I'm not in excellent health because I got a little high blood pressure, but I'm in really good health. So, and we contributed to the use of cannabis and CBD.
The other
I use
cannabinoids.
large amounts of CBD. I don't think you can take too much CBD.
Yep.
I really don't believe your body. You can take as much as you want to take. Some
Yep.
people say, "Oh, you only need to take 10 milligrams a day." Well, that wouldn't work for me.
Well, your body has an exit strategy
Yeah.
for extra cannabinoids anyway.
That's
so it's
right.
not going to use them.
So
Right.
it's not going to
Right.
hurt you anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah,
All
right.
good.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, we're
That's about all I got on the music scene. Oh, unless you wanted to talk about rap, of course, and this is not a rap.
You know,
station, but
I
man,
heard a quote this morning, and
Yeah.
I listen to rap, but this is
Oh, I
a
do
classic
too.
rock format, right?
Right.
So I did hear I saw something this morning. It said something like, "So you believe that rap is better than classic rock? Well, then you must be wrong and stupid." So, but I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there.
Don't go there.
No,
I
Just
think
like-
that's the
all right.
crowd you hang out with.
but
in the
it's
morning.
just it just goes to show that
It is. I listen to hip hop all day.
Yeah.
So-
Right.
I don't. The only music that I think maybe would be the traditional classical, the Mozarts, but the people playing it probably are.
They were high as kites, man.
They might have been.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody in the background has. I say in the background when
I
he
mean,
had his hand up back
You got to
there.
think. You got to think when Bach was playing Bach, right?
Yeah.
That was before he got into Bachman Turner Overdrive, which that was after he smoked grass. So
That's what, yeah, there you go.
that's where they were then.
I
So-
knew Waxy Brown had it all.
All
going
right,
on.
There
ladies
you
and
go.
gentlemen,
There you go.
welcome to the program, Justin Trowbridge, our hemp guy from all kinds of different conversations. We appreciate Justin. Man, I don't know if you heard, Justin, we gave you some accolades earlier in the show on how classic this looks and how awesome everything's looking and how everybody needs to run to you, but we're not here to talk about that now.
Well, I think it's $100 per mention for Venmo for you. Is that the deal we arranged earlier?
Hold on, let me check with my audio video. Hey, he's cutting out, guys. Is the AV okay? Just kidding. So calm down, Billy.
Billy,
Calm
relax,
down.
brother.
Our AV guys jumping up. We're kidding, Billy. We're kidding.
Yeah, nobody puts Billy in a corner. By
Nobody
the way.
puts Billy in a corner. All right, so Justin Trowbridge is on with Jared Elliott of Terabiotics, man. So I had trouble pronouncing Terabiotics earlier. I love learning new words, and I've got that's a good one. So we're really stoked about that. Welcome to the program, Jared, to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour. Justin, take us away because I know we've got a lot of good intro here.
Well, so Jared and I know each other through the Industrial Hemp Coalition, and we've been talking a lot about all kinds of crazy stuff. And there are a lot of people you meet in the industry that you're just blown away by the level of expertise and the depth that they have. And Jared is that guy for soil. I don't have to learn a thing about soil because I know Jared Elliott. And I've been waiting for a guest to do this, so I got a quick intro for you. You ready, Jared?
Uh-oh.
So It's the sultan of the soil, the duke of dirt, the titan of terroir, the swami of substrate, the guru of grow. It's Jared Elliott.
Man,
that's awesome, Justin.
I gotta find a way to pay Waxy his finder fee every time he talks about me nice. So
there we go. That's great.
That's terrible, but it's fun.
That was good. It was good. I appreciate that. So next time I'll wear like a sultan hat or something.
There you go.
Yep.
Justin never
Well,
wears a hat.
I think today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on, man. So tell us a little bit about Terabiotics.
Yeah, sure. So maybe a little bit of background then. So I grew up in northern Missouri and spent a lot of time on my grandpa's farm and things. Ultra conservative family where the background, anything cannabis was sort of related was super taboo and just like we are always taught growing up that it was a terrible thing. But then over time I've learned a lot and have grown since then and prior to Terabiotics I spent 25 years or so in various large companies like DuPont and Celanese and things like that, running those in executive level or senior leadership sort of level roles and growing and launching products all over the world. And after doing that for a long time, I wanted to get into a situation where I had some equity in the company rather than just growing the company for somebody else. And so I started searching for companies to buy. And so a couple of years ago, I found a Terabiotics. It was started by an individual back in the early 2003, 2004 sort of time frame. And his whole focus is around the soil food web and trying to make sure your root system and the rhizosphere around your roots are the healthiest they possibly could be. And that intrigued me. And so, I've got 4 kids, one of which, Dad told me, he's like, hey, Dad, you should be doing something that's good for the environment, not like these chemicals and plastics and everything you've been doing for years and years. Do something that's good for the environment. And then my other son had a lot of behavioral issues and stuff while he was growing up and everything. He's 23 now, but the only thing that was effective for him after all the doctors gave him all sorts of medicines and treatments and things like that, nothing ever worked. But cannabis did help him a lot. And so I started thinking, hey, this is interesting. And so I ended up buying Terabiotics a couple of years ago. And we have 4 areas that we're focused on and we dig in, accidental play on words there, that we focus on quite a bit. The main area is, organic nutrients for the plants. And so getting, all natural, all organic nutrients for your plants. 2, and this is a major part of it, was, we have done a lot of research and done a lot of formulation work to get all the right beneficial soil bacteria, mycorrhizae fungi, other saprophytic fungi that are pest fighting, pathogen fighting, and other microbiology together to combine with the organic nutrients in order to help the root system and the plants be as healthy they can possibly be. On top of that, we supply a lot of folks that make living soils and things like that, and so we've also launched our own living soil product line as well. And then finally, up in Oklahoma, I'm actually in Texas now, but up in Oklahoma, I've been part of a medical marijuana grow there, and running and driving that. I was hoping to be there and filming from that site location today, so you could see the plants growing.
Next time, man.
But, yeah. Unfortunately, they got a little bit of snow and ice, and we couldn't do any driving.
Let me cue my listeners. Let me cue my listeners in real quick to kind of what we're talking about here, and it goes kind of to that adage of you are what you eat, right? So
absolutely.
So when we talk about soil, we aren't just talking about dirt that we're throwing these cannabis plants in. We're talking about what's going to feed these plants to make them the best medicine, the best product that we can have.
Right.
And so when we talk about we are what we eat, we want to eat healthy. We want to eat naturally. Well, some of us do, but we also want a lot of us demand that our medicine comes from that. And it's really cool, man, not cool, obviously, but the fact is you come from a cannabis story. And that story is the reason why you're dictating clean medicine, better soil.
That's absolutely right. And so one of the things, growing up on the farm in northern Missouri with grandpa and stuff, we went out and put all sorts of salt-based chemical fertilizers out on the corn, the wheat, and soybeans, and everything else. And some things that really surprised me, and what I've learned is that's like giving your plants like 5-hour energy shots. It gives them some of the nutrients they need, and it gives them a big boost of energy and right away. But what we try to do with the organic nutrients and with the bacteria and the mycorrhizae and other fungi combined is provide a full meal for the plant that gives you everything the plant needs, and a super easy sort of way to go. And it all gets, like you said, to making the plant healthier. That's the plant's root system become as strong and as powerful as it possibly can, because that's the foundation of the whole plant. Your root system is the foundation, and so as healthy as your roots are is as healthy as your plant can get. And so that's kind of what was really exciting for me to get involved in this. And I never realized, for example, the big symbiotic relationship between the bacteria that break down all the different nutrients in the soil or in the wherever you're growing in your growing media, and then the mycorrhizae fungi and other fungi that connect with your root system, expand that root system reach and its ability to get nutrients by 100 times, even up to 1,000 times.
Right, because you're talking about bacteria and fungi as if they're really good things, and like it's
they're absolutely great things.
Right.
Absolutely great things. There's bad ones too.
Sure.
But if you get your soil or your root system out of balance, then that's what allows the bad ones to take over. And if it's in balance and nice and healthy, then that's what allows your root system and your plants to become healthier.
Yeah, the one thing I've learned talking to Jared is that the soil that I pick up at the Walmart garden center is nowhere near as advanced as the detail levels that he's put in with their mix, the living soils and all those kind of things, because a happy plant's going to express the right kind of cannabinoids.
Right.
And
the terpene levels change. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's amazing what all those different bacteria and the fungi can do. There's ones that fight off pests and fight off other things. There's the ones that fight off, eat molds and things. There's some that have.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Organic versus anything else. Why organic?
Why organic? Just like you're saying before, if we're wanting to be ingesting this thing, ingesting these plants, whether they're smoking or through edibles or whatever else, or eating it or whatnot, then we want it to be as healthy as possible and balanced. And if we're just throwing chemicals on a plant, it gives them a boost of energy, but it doesn't let them reach their full potential, and they're optimizing. And over time, those plants then become not quite as healthy and don't provide the nutrients that we need. So we need all the so the bacteria break down the nutrients, the roots bring them in, the plant is able to incorporate them, and then we ingest it, we're able to get those nutrients and those terpenes and those cannabinoids ourselves in a much better route.
Very cool.
It tastes better too, in my opinion.
Nice.
Awesome stuff. Where can folks find out more information about what we're talking about?
Terrabiotics.com.
Terrabiotics.com.
Or our Instagram page as well as a good search to go. We've got a couple dozen, we've got growers that have run all sorts of different types of High Times cups and Texas hemp cup awards and other ones up in Michigan. And so a couple dozen different awards and things.
Wow.
So yeah, we're taking off. We're having some fun. I'm learning.
And you guys can do everything from like a small home grow to a full commercial facility, right? So
that's
everybody's welcome to come check them out.
Yep, and we do. It's all in water-soluble, micronized powders that you mix with water on site, ready to use. There's no point in shipping water around.
Wow, very cool.
But the fun thing is learn about this industry more than anything else.
Right.
So let me ask you real quick before we go to break, because we got to go real quick. But what's the difference between this industry and others, in your opinion? What have you found out?
Well, there's several different things. One is the just the collaboration and the people and just how open and friendly people are. Two, I think it's still what's considered kind of an early innovation stage, and so there's a lot of people and growers out there that are searching for a silver bullet or searching for something new. So there's a lot of change going on. And then finally, it has a really good positive impact for the world, both on a medicinal basis and on and then being organic, helps out as well. So
that's right.
It's been fun. It's been a very enlightening and learning opportunity.
And jobs. All right, Terrabiotics.com. We ran over on this one because it was just a really good conversation, guys. Hey, we're going to catch you guys next time. Thanks for coming on the show, man. We really appreciate it. Thanks, Justin.
Great. Thanks. See you soon.
All right, folks. You're listening to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour on KKID 92.9, home of your classic joints out of Salem and Rolla. We'll be right back with you. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Flower Power Hour, where we spend 2 hours talking about flower power. So I wanted to jump back on before we rush to song and dance and say goodbye to George Biswell. And because I know you came all the way down from Kansas City, George. We're grateful for that.
Absolutely, on a great day.
But this weather looks kind of nasty, so we're going to send you home. So
Well, thank you very much, and I appreciate it. And as I said off the air there, folks, this is something that's not happening anywhere else but in Missouri. I follow this kind of stuff, and this is exciting stuff happening for cannabis and radio, because a lot of radio people don't want to do it because of the federal and all the other stuff that's related to it. So you guys stay in there, and I'll be back, and I'll spend the next time I come, I'll spend the 2 hours.
Well, we're grateful, man. You have an open door here.
Now, does he know about the Mo Cannafest going on at the Regalia?
I'm certain everybody in Missouri does, Steve.
Well, I mean, you got to come to that.
Yeah,
George.
you got to be at Mo Cannafest, April 2nd at the Regalia Hotel and Conference Center.
There you go.
Take us to a song. George, thank you so much for stopping by the Flower Power Hour, and we really appreciate you, my fam.
You're good. And I'd like to leave this with your listeners. It ain't about the getting high. It's about saving lives.
That's right. Weed saves lives, y'all.
That's right. There you go. Here it is. The Doors. Light My Fire.
Everybody, welcome back to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour on KKID 92.9, home of your classic joints. We've had a great show so far.
What a cool guy.
George Biswell, man. The can evangelist.
He inspires me, to
Yeah.
be where he's at, 72 years old, and, just as healthy as he is and excited about what he does. And just a good person. I mean, those are the kind of people you want to run into in this industry.
Well, and that's what we talk about all the time. It's all about the people, the culture of the people, and all those experiences that we've had through all these years and how we got into it. You know
Right.
what? And obviously, giving up the plant for 17 years for a career, he's not the only guy that's had to do that.
And I think that's where, we're at with hopefully becoming as normal as possible to where you can treat it like going home and drinking a beer and not have to worry about losing your job because this is what you choose to medicate on or relax with.
Right. I mean, that's why there's so many people in the closet still, right?
Right.
The canna closet. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
real.
No, it is real. So that's true. So that's why cannabis is so important to all of us is because choice like, okay, you can talk about it as an exit strategy, right? An exit drug from alcohol or from opioids or this and the other, or we can look at it from like how Ron Hicks, the St. Charles politician who just released the Cannabis Freedom Act, he looks at it as a freedom thing. It's not even about all that to him. Like when I went and talked to him, he's like, yeah, it's great, but also I'm American.
Right.
And like I should be able to make these choices and be able to do the things that I want to do when I want to do them, as I want to do them, and here's the qualifier in America, right? If it doesn't harm other people.
Right.
Right? I should be able to do what I want if it doesn't harm other people. Well, you look at George Biswell. Does that man look like he harms other people? Right?
And 72 years old.
Right.
And what does he say? He's got a little bit of high blood pressure and that's it?
The most dangerous thing that he has done today was drive in the snow to come down and talk about cannabis because it's important to him. So, I mean, there's that part of it where,
that's dedication right there.
I'm saying, like...
But that's the culture.
That's the culture, yeah.
Right. When you get an opportunity to come into an environment like this and experience it, I mean, it's like he said, you can't wait to come back.
And listen to what he said too. He said people don't do this elsewhere. They don't talk about it on the air. They don't. Right? Look at even on television. Television cannabis is either on Vice Network and looked at it as a bunch of drug dealers wearing stocking caps trying to rob the world, or it's disjointed with
Kathy Bates.
With Kathy Bates.
Yeah.
Super funny and super soft and quiet and quaint, but really like we're everywhere. We're in all portions of it. We're everywhere. Like there's almost no part of Walmart you can walk through now without seeing hemp somewhere, like in the clothing or the product lines and all that. Like cannabis is there. And when you talk about culture, well, that was it. You looked at it. George Biswell, that's culture.
Amen, brother.
That's a 70-something-year-old man who has flat out told the world, this is who I am. I'm about cannabis, and that's exactly what I am about this culture and this, nothing less, nothing more. And to me, to see people like that define that, that's trailblazing to me.
And what you should have been able to see off the air was Waxy Brown being anointed by George Biswell.
By Cannabis Hub.
Right.
Part of the anointing oil.
Right.
But let's be real. It is part of us. It is part of our religion. Like,
Amen.
I know that. I grew up in Catholic school, and Catholic church, and all that, right? And like, they're about the oils, man, and rubbing things and smelling, rubbing oils on things and smelling things, and it's a true story that religion and cannabis walk hand in hand. And so, for somebody to recognize that someone is walking, doing that way, I'm hip to it all the way. All right, sounds like we might have had some AV difficulties calling in, getting some calls in, but I think we've got Midwest Canada Expos on the line.
So we get to talk about that Blaze event?
Yeah, we get to talk about all their events, which is going to be pretty wild. Who do I have on the line?
Hey, Waxy, this is Ryan and Corinne from Midwest Canada Expos. How are you today?
Ryan and Corinne, two of my favorite folks out there doing it. So let me give you a little background on this company, guys. The reason I got locked up with these guys, hammed up with these guys and clicking with these guys is they've invited me to be the MC and blunt rolling judge, contest judge, and a few other things at some of these events. And man, what I found out real fast was that these folks do not slack when it comes to putting on an event. I showed up and it was rock star status. It was so many great brands, and the visibility was amazing for these brands and like being able to set up these tables. So welcome to the show. Welcome to the Flower Power Hour. I know I gave you a bit of a few accolades there, but tell us exactly what it is that you guys are out there doing.
Midwest Canna Expos was started at the end of 2018 after we legalized medical marijuana in Missouri. And I had been involved in the campaign and the efforts to legalize, and realized that people who were going to be applying for licenses were going to need resources like CPAs and banking and all of that. And so the concept of MoCan BizCon was born, and we did that show for 3 years. Our trajectory has changed a bit since legalization, and now we're more consumer and patient facing, and we've expanded our services to include pop-up events. We do festival staffing. Obviously, we do event and party planning for people in the industry, but everything we do is really cannabis-centric and designed to help patients, educate patients, and to bring patients and consumers together with the brands and products that can help them the most. So we have those two umbrellas, and then we also have the Cannabis Hub, which is kind of our newest offering, and it is a website that's devoted to patient and consumer resources, educational resources regarding cannabis. And that kind of came to be last year when the DHSS was prohibiting dispensaries and brands from advertising their pricing. And I very firmly believe that patients should have access to all information about cannabis, most especially when they're inside a dispensary. So we started publishing all their pricing and sales and stuff since they couldn't. So that's kind of what we do, and it's a lot. But
Well, let me ask you a question, Corinne. Let's say that I'm the let's say we'll call myself the event planner for Smith and Company Cultivation and Dispensary Group. I'm vertical, but I'm not exactly sure how to throw a big party, a big event. Can I call you guys and just say, hey, Corinne, man, help me throw this event?
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely.
And then you guys, because I've seen your tool belt. It's intense. I've seen these events you throw, and it's not just showing up and having a party on deck and having a good time with that. It's very orchestrated. It's very professional. So I got to say, like, I'm very blessed to be on deck for these things and emceeing them and having fun with you guys, because you guys definitely bring a whole different level of visibility if I'm a brand.
So I just love planning parties that are amazing and that people want to come to. So I can't think of a better idea than food, an open bar, good music, a blunt rolling contest. We even have like Canna Plinko games, and we have all kinds of door prizes we give away. It is a good time for bud tenders to come in and meet brands and learn about their products, which they then go back into the dispensary and talk to patients about it.
I went to that last bud tender appreciation party. You know who was not, didn't maybe look as happy as everybody else in the room? It was the bartender. I don't think they throw bartender appreciation parties. I think the bartenders are looking at the bud tenders like, what are you doing that you get this kind of respect and like admiration and you're winning prizes?
We respected the heck out of the bartender.
You did. You certainly did. I'm joking. I'm joking. They were so happy. In fact, the bartender that I was with was wearing a teal extract. So teal extracts was at one of your events there. And she was wearing that hat, and I said, that's really cool, man, that hat. She goes, you think it's cool? It's not. This is a bar, and it's really hot, but I'm wearing it because the guy said he'd tip me better if I wore the hat. So it is about branding, it is about visibility, and it is about not having to pay a ton to make sure that your brand is out there on the forefront, and you guys are killing the game with this.
Well, thank you. We're having fun doing it, too.
So talk to me about the Blaze.
Yeah, well, actually,
go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, well, actually, really all the things that we do, it's all about connecting people with cannabis. So when we work with a brand, we look at what the best route is to connect people, whether it's with the bartenders or the patients or both. So that's what we're looking to do. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about Blaze.
I'm excited about this one. I got to tell you guys, when I was younger, my dad used to take me to this event up at a Union Station. And hey, Pops, I know you're listening. I love you. He used to take us to this event up there in Union Station, and it was an ice cream convention where all the different ice cream companies would come. And it was so cool because I'd run from exhibit to exhibit trying these different ice creams and getting all wrecked up on sugar.
Brain freeze.
Hey, but you joke, Steve. You know who was the big and you can look this up. Who was the in charge of? They were this big sponsors was KSHE 95.
Right.
So I got to meet the KSHE pig and like the DJs and all that too. Like it was a great big experience. So I feel full circle saying that I'm going to get to go back there and MC this event and get to hang out with you guys. But now I've talked a lot. Talk to me about Blaze. Tell my 65,000 listeners about this cool party you guys are throwing at Union Station in St. Louis.
So Blaze is going to be a showcase of Missouri cannabis brands and products. Different than BizCon. BizCon was really for operators and owners, and we'll still have a little bit of that. We're still at Union Station because it's an amazing venue, and I absolutely love it. And but this year we're going to do a Friday, Saturday. So typically BizCon's during the week. We're doing a Friday, Saturday. Friday will be devoted to education for industry members. So we'll have some advanced bud tender training. We're going to do some regional roundtables for operators so that they can have some facilitated conversation with other operators in their geographic regions, things like that. But day 2 is going to be all about patients and consumers.
Yeah.
We're going to do workshops on how to make topicals, how to make edibles. We're going to have sessions where you can talk to a nurse or ask doctors and pharmacists questions about things like taking medications and how those things interact with cannabis. So it'll just be an open question and answer session. But we're also going to give away several hundred patient certifications.
Whoa.
And that's the part that I'm really excited about.
Wow.
Yeah. So one of the biggest barriers to access for patients is the cost of that certification. So being able to cover the doctor visit at least can sometimes give that opportunity to somebody who would not otherwise have it. So
yeah,
our goal
anything
is
can be
to
a
give away
barrier.
300. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I feel like we're really lucky here in Missouri. I know in Minnesota, it can cost upwards of $400 to get your certification. And I know people in Florida, by the time they pay all the fees and the doctor visits, it's close to $1,000.
Holy
but
cow.
sometimes even a couple $100 can be a lot to come up with. So
No.
our goal is to give away 300 free certifications at the event.
Are you going to have doctors there that can certify them on the spot?
Yes, we
Good.
will. We'll have
Good.
that, and then we'll have some of the certifying companies do telehealth visits. So we'll be able to give them a voucher, and they can do the telehealth visit from home. But we
Right.
will have doctors there that can do certs on the spot.
Awesome.
Very
That
cool.
is so cool. You know, and this is what, brought the CannaFest together too. I was coming. I mean, it had to have been, because I asked Justin about this yesterday. When did New Mexico legalize? And he said it was in 2009
For medical.
for medical,
Yeah.
right? So that's what kind of. I was coming through New Mexico, listening to the radio. Pink Floyd's "Comfortably Numb" was playing, right?
Of course.
And then the song ended, and the DJ came back on, and he was doing a live remote from the first medical marijuana and healing festival. And it's exactly what you guys are doing now here in the state, where you got a doctor on staff.
Right.
They can get legal. They can see what the products are out there and stuff like that. And I just can't believe it's happening here. Can
No.
you tell us how you can see that smile on my face from ear to ear, can't you?
No, in fact,
I can hear it.
Their first party I went to was that BizCon that they're talking about.
Right.
And that was the moment when Tim and I walked out of there. That was the moment when it clicked on us, and we're like, it's time to start throwing parties in Missouri. These
Absolutely.
guys, These guys are trailblazing.
Heck
These
yeah.
guys are setting the standard.
do it.
Let's have fun. And
that's right.
And let me tell you something, just to be real about it. And I know a lot of the industry folks are listening out there. If you're looking for brand visibility, if you're looking to go out and have a good time, and if you want to reach the folks that don't have the cards, the folks that want to hear about you, that want to normalize this, that want to be a part of it, reach out to these guys. They want to throw a party for you. And they want to throw it for the patients.
Right.
Let's throw it together, man. Let's have a good time.
And get that patient that's on the fence saying, should I or should I not get legal?
Right.
And the you should get legal.
When is that? Yeah,
Yeah, what's the
absolutely.
date of it?
When is the Blaze event?
Yeah.
June 3rd and 4th.
June 3rd and 4th. That's where all of St. Louis is going to be.
I mean, we got to block that off now.
We hope that all the Missouri cannabis enthusiasts and people that are interested in cannabis, even tacitly, are able to make the trip to St. Louis.
Right.
The expo is going to have a lot to offer, but bring your family. I mean, Union Station is a reinvigorated facility. They
Absolutely.
have the aquarium, the Ferris wheel.
Absolutely.
There's several good restaurants.
That's what turned me on. I want to ride that
offer.
Ferris wheel.
That's what I'm saying. Folks, when I was a kid, I went there to experience ice cream. I'm going back because I want to experience all the flavors of that
Right.
new ice cream I dig,
Right.
cannabis. Where can folks find Midwest Canna Expos if they want to hire you guys to do some of this stuff?
They can go to MidwestCannaExpos.com, or they can send us an email. Ryan's probably the best person to talk to, and he is ryan.keller@MidwestCannaExpos.com.
We also have a website for Blaze. It is blazemissouri.com. That's BLAZEMISSOURI.com. And, of course, we encourage all your listeners to check out the CannabisHub.com. That's CannabisHub.com.
Awesome stuff. And you know what else? These guys are sponsoring the Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, so you're going to be hearing a lot about them. We got new
That's
commercials
right.
rolling out, and we're going to be telling you all about their events as we keep trucking. Corinne, Ryan, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you so much for what you cats do for the patients. Steve, you better take
Thanks
us
for
to a
having
break.
us.
You betcha. Love
All
you
right, guys. Talk to you soon. Can't
Yeah,
wait
we
to meet
appreciate
you.
it, Waxy.
Yeah, all right,
Take care.
fam. We'll catch you next time. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour on KKID 92.9, home of your classic joints. Man, we're having fun. We're having fun so far. So on the phone, I've got a good friend of ours on the show. Been on a bunch of times, but every single time, I have to say, the feedback I get from these conversations are some of the best. Chip Paul, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Waxy, how are you doing? this
Good,
afternoon?
good, my family. So I got Chip Paul on the line. Now, Chip Paul, just for you folks out there that have learned about your endocannabinoid system, your master control system from this show, I want to say this is the guy that inspired it all, man. We were just talking about grass before we met this cat. So we got Chip Paul on the line, endocannabinoid forensic researcher. And I had to learn how to say all those words, and you seem to have learned a lot about everything to do with those words. So, Chip Paul, welcome back to the show, my friend.
Oh, thank you, Waxy. It's nice to be here, and I don't know if you guys are getting all this sleet, but here in Tulsa, we're looking at a couple of inches of sleet out on the ground. So
We're
it's
working
pretty
on it.
crazy.
We're working on it.
Yeah, it's definitely here. There's no doubt about it. So tell everybody out there about New Pharma and kind of some exciting stuff that you've got going on, with your radio show.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to bring up real quick, Chip. You've got a new radio show, right?
Yeah, so we're going to be starting an hour here in Tulsa, probably 4 to 5 p.m. and probably on a Wednesday is what we're looking at. But we'll be talking about the endocannabinoid system, and again, an hour, as you guys know, is on the back end, I have mad respect for everyone that does radio, because just doing an hour a week is a lot of time on the back end and planning and marketing and everything that kind of goes along with that. Anyway,
I want to touch on it real quick, Chip, because you're going to experience something that we've experienced on this show, and that's the passion of it. So it is a lot of work, man, that you're going to go through with this thing, and you're going to experience a lot of heartache and headache. But for real, what you're going to experience real fast is the same thing we did. It's a passion play, bro. Like, the energy that you're going to experience from the plant, from being a voice for it, is a totally different ballgame than just smoking it.
Oh, completely get that, and believe, like, in a probably different silo, I completely feel that now, because I research it, I love it, I, literally kind of massage it in my head every morning, and it's my inspiration, really, for everything that I've done. But just trying to put together content, so, okay, well, what are we going to talk about this week? That's harder than it looks, I guess, is kind of what I'm saying. But we've got a lot of content. We're going to be talking a lot about the endocannabinoid system. We're going to be going into a lot of detail about how the endocannabinoid system works. We're going to have a lot of opportunity for people to participate. So it should be fun, and it's going to be a little different than what you built, but it will be similar, so we're all about trying to just educate people here about, we have so much power over our health, right? And that's what we're really all kind of hitting on is, gosh, we don't need this pharma, false idol kind of standing between us and the God-given cures, right?
Exactly.
It's all about the seed we can put in the ground. It should be completely, it should be our freedom to put that seed in the ground and to medicate ourselves like people did 100 years ago. All this is really, go back to the history and how it's just recycling itself. And what you do, Chip, from a compounding perspective, that's just history recycling itself.
Where we were at, this is crazy, guys, but this is true. So we were further along, no joke, in medicine around the turn of the 1900s, right? So early 1900s. We had taken plants and we had figured out that plants have some, sort of subchemicals or subparts in them that were really the powerful things that affected us, things called flavonoids or alkaloids or terpenes or cannabinoids in the case of cannabis. But we'd figured that out, right? And we'd figured out how to use those things more and more powerfully. So we were using nature in a great way, and then we kind of had these, petroleum elitists come along and take over our medical system.
Yeah,
and they literally did that with money.
Chip, isn't it weird how we went from plant-based science to criminalizing that plant-based science, and then to synthesizing plant-based science. It's really weird how they came through, they made us illegal, and then they went and they made opioids and these things that are synthesized BS versions of what we've got going on. It's the whole, when you say history repeats itself, like, I'm super scared they're going to come in and try and stomp us out again.
Well, exactly. And when you begin to see, so here's kind of a scary thing, and just here's a heads up. You know, if you want to play kind of evil genius, if you will, you know, how do you wreck our good thing? And again, we've got a big uprising of, you know, we the people, let's say.
Right.
You know, we're beginning to change things, right? The cannabis folks, the green movement, we're really beginning to change science. We're really beginning to change medicine. We're making a difference. A real easy way to wreck us is, you know, put some goofy stuff at the convenience store that we call legal. You know, we need to be careful of that. You know, we need to protect consumer safety. You know, we need to not get excited just because something gets us high and sold at a convenience
You know,
store.
and let's I know you don't have to swerve off topic, Chip, but I want to make that a very valid point. That's something I think about a lot. Is I get the whole legalization, let's normalize it, let's get it everywhere type thing, but also please don't dilute my plant as a medicine. I still need to get into hospitals, and you guys are trying to put me in 7-Eleven. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and again, it's just, and it's not that we shouldn't be everywhere, and it shouldn't be like tomatoes, and you know, I have that vibe, but
right,
you know, it's there's more to it than that. You know, we have to break down walls. We have to, you know, break down all these old barriers, and there's sort of a protocol to do that. So why not just play their game? That's what I like to do.
Yeah, I mean, all we got to do is copy the path that they've already laid out.
You know,
so let's just do that.
Yeah, you say play their game. I say let's just take the blueprints from them and do it ourselves. But yeah, their path was correct. Like, let's make sure that people understand this medicine is medicine.
Well, and I guess the path that they've sold us on. So,
right.
So you know, is the sort of mission of the FDA a good thing? Well, yeah. I mean, protecting consumer safety, you know, protecting our, you know, health, and you know, making sure products that hit the market are not going to kill us, and you know, they're safe for our consumption, and people don't make false claims about them. Yeah, that's good stuff, man. Well, let's do that proper, not do that as a wall for pharma. Okay.
Right.
So noble mission, not so noble, you know, in kind of reality. And if you look at kind of the firewalls and how they firewall natural products, you know, not so good, right?
Right.
So, you know, let's change that. And again, I think those conversations are happening. You know, I'm having those conversations nationally, which is kind of cool. Those conversations are happening, so that's a, you know, good thing. Boy, we're going through a big change in our nation.
So you've checked off a bucket list of mine that I want to check off so bad. That's that TED Talk, man. You got your own TED Talk?
It's coming. Yeah, it's coming.
And was I not allowed to say? I couldn't say? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you can say it.
Okay,
so
all right.
We couldn't say it for a while, but it's very exciting for me. You know, it's a bucket list thing for me too. You know, I was selected, which is cool. But the cool thing though also is just I'm going to talk about the endocannabinoid system, and this is Main Street, right? This is, you know, TED Talk with the endocannabinoid system. So that is a barrier that potentially could get broken down. Kind of already is being broken down.
Now for my listeners out there, that's important for us, people like myself, for Chip Paul, Tim Harms, Steve Wheeler. It's important for us and for you listeners out there, because TED, they talk about all these TED Talks. They're massive, right? They get a lot of listeners, and they talk about all these great subjects from everything from you know, Silicon Valley to what's happening with the new way a certain cast is made or something like that. But for cannabis to be on that stage is super incredible. But let me tell you all something out there. You guys listening to me, this is what's real. For me, for Chip Paul to represent that plant on that stage in front of millions and millions of people, to me, we've broken a barrier, busted down a stigma, changed a fear that definitely, I have to say, man, like, you've taken it to another step, and I'm grateful to be your friend and to see you take part in that.
Oh, thank you, man. That's nice to say, and it just, you know, I'm honored for the opportunity. Really, Gosh, it just, what you and I know can just change the world, right? And
Right.
all your listeners, so how do we fight this entrenched system? Well, we got to have champions, and I'm the wrong champion for certain things that we need. Down my avenue, I need PhD champions and MD champions, right? And that, yeah.
With that in mind, I mean, are you finding that, a lot of the younger doctors are steering more towards the cannabis industry now based off of some of the new, research that's been, proven?
It's so the medical system is, I think it'll happen in research really first, and then the research will drive sort of changes into the entrenched medical system. One of the biggest things to happen, I think, for real research on the endocannabinoid system was Pfizer buying Arena Pharmaceuticals for $6 billion.
I didn't want to bring down the room, but the question you asked, Steve, opens up a hurt locker, and that's the fact that it's a true story that Western medicine will not accept our cannabis until folks present it to them. Now, the only people that have Western medicine's ears are people like Chip's talking about, Pfizer, the companies that are already out there making millions of dollars for these hospitals, this streamline of medicine, this Western culture medicine that we have. Like you asked the question. The truth is, until we sell these products to these ignorant cats out there that have done what they've done with opioids and all that, until they present the product, we just can't be in the room. And that's the sad part about it, because the federal government has their stipulations on what's legal, and the fact is we're still Schedule 1 narcotic when we shouldn't be.
Right.
We shouldn't be scheduled at all.
Right.
But here's the thing. We're going to be in those rooms where the narcotics are, and they're all going away. The narcotics will find their way out of the room, and Pfizer will accept these medicines because of the work like people like Chip Paul are putting in.
There you go.
And I'm telling you guys, I'm a believer. I'm a very spiritual person, as I know you guys are. And I'm seeing God's hand in this. It just, it's amazing kind of to watch. And it just, big things are going to happen pretty soon. I think really cool things.
Praise the Lord on that.
You just sent a lot of people out there with goosebumps, brother. Let me tell you.
That made the hair on the back of the neck stand up.
Folks, that's Chip Paul. That's an endoforensic.
There you go.
That's an endocannabinoid forensic researcher. Chip, we really appreciate you being on the show. We've got to cut it because we've let a lot of these interviews go a little long today because they're so darn good. But thank you so much, and we'll catch you on the show next time. And we want to promote your radio show, so you make sure you have us on there as well. All right, everybody.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you, guys.
You bet, Chip.
Bye-bye.
We love you, brother. All right, everybody. We're going to take a quick commercial break and maybe come back with, we'll be back with Izzy Clausen, who's going to do Terp Talk with us. We're going to talk about some terpenes. Folks, thanks for listening. Steve, thanks for putting me on. Let's pay some bills. Latitude. Hey everybody, welcome back to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour on KKID 92.9. Man, it's been a crazy show. So let's dial it up a notch.
Let's bring in that young lady, that really smart young lady.
Let's pause for just a second, because I'm super worried about all you folks out there listening. I'm afraid that you're going to learn too much on this show. So if you have suggestions to where you want me to maybe not put as much education, as much information, as much cool stoner stuff out, just let me know. I'm not going to give you a number or anything to put that request at, but you just let me know. So now we're going to take it up a notch with the education. We got Izzy Clausen from www.greenbee-learn.com. Man, I'm getting good at that on the show. What's up, Izzy?
Hey, how's it going?
Super good. So I know every week we bring you on to talk about the plant, about a little bit of education, and so I didn't ask you this week whether you have a flavonoid or a cannabinoid or a terpene. So it's like a surprise box for me. So I'm gonna do. What do you got?
Yeah. So last week we talked about Delta 8, and this week I thought we should talk about Delta 10, which is another minor cannabinoid that we find in the cannabis plant, and it's another minor cannabinoid that's starting to kind of pick up. People are starting to kind of talk about it, maybe seeing it in a couple smoke shops and some products. So I thought, let's learn what is this whole Delta 10 all about.
So let me tell you what I know about it, Izzy, and all I know, the only thing I know about it is that it perhaps has it's a bit stronger than some of the other cannabinoids. That's really all I know.
Yeah, there's not a ton of research on it. Honestly, when I was looking, I couldn't really find hardly any scholarly articles regarding Delta 10, but I did kind of find a consensus that most people do tend to think that it is less psychoactive than Delta 8.
Okay.
Yeah, a little less intense. So if you're someone that is, still getting paranoia, still getting anxiety with Delta 8, Delta 10 would be a good option to kind of take a step down. This is due to these cannabinoid ratios. So since Delta 8 and Delta 10 are found in such small quantities in the plant, normally when you consume those cannabinoids, you're consuming a synthesized version of them. And so Delta 8 is normally found whenever there's high concentrations of CBN, and then they synthesize that to turn into Delta 8. Whereas Delta 10 is normally from CBG, CBC, some of these other cannabinoids that also aren't found in high quantities. And so it's really important whenever you're going to consume Delta 8 or Delta 10 to really know who you're buying from. We talked about this before with some of those other cannabinoids. Make sure you're buying from reliable sources, because they aren't naturally occurring in high enough quantities for us to just be, getting it from the plant like we would other things such as, Delta 9 THC. But, there is some medicinal properties. Again, not a lot of research because it is very new. But what I could find is that it can help with stress and tension. And it's a really good alternative if you're just looking to kick back, but, are not ready to quite yet feel the full intensity of those psychoactive effects. Delta 10 would be a good option for that.
Well, I find a lot of those minor cannabinoids too, so yeah, I like to get high, of course, but I also like to sleep, and I also like energy. So where's Delta 10 taking me with this one?
Yeah, so Delta 8, is definitely known for those sleepy effects. Delta 10, I couldn't say definitively whether or not it's going to put you to sleep or really wake you up like some of the other ones that we kind of know more definitively, just because it's so new. There's just not enough research on it, unfortunately. But my hypothesis is it's going to be a little more on the energizing side, because it's not so psychoactive, so it's not going to affect you quite as much. It's just going to de-stress you. Granted, if you're really, really stressed all the time and then you get de-stressed, your body might just go to sleep because it's not used to being stimulated. So
it dawns on me, Izzy, that you know a lot about all these other cannabinoids and Delta 9. I don't think one time you've called in, we've talked about Delta 9, have we? Not one time. So it dawns on me that I'm really glad that you're of this era and that you weren't born in the 20s, because in 1937 they would have utilized all your information that you're giving my listeners to illegalize all of our cannabinoids. And I'm super glad that they only knew about one, because it's fun to go into a dispensary, but it's also fun to know that cannabinoid science and your endocannabinoid system are real, and that we don't have to get a medical card to understand that we can control how our bodies feel and react to this environment that this world gives us.
Exactly, and the medicinal properties of these other cannabinoids are just so incredible. And I think a really good introduction, if you're not really ready to get your med card yet, or really try Delta 9 yet, try some of these other ones. They are legal under the hemp law. Get those other ones in there. They're going to do a lot of medicinal benefits for you as well. And then once you kind of realize you're used to that, well, then you can introduce that wonderful Delta 9 THC and see how it kind of fits into your regimen that you've developed with these other cannabinoids. Because that entourage effect, I'll continue to preach about it till the day I die. It's so important to get them all
I want to
there.
take this one a little personally, Izzy. So I think about all these cannabinoids, and I think about just to be real, my own family. I deal with one of my kiddos is dealing with a bit of a struggle, and the doctors want to put him on a chemical, a Prozac-y type science that they think they've come up with, and we think there's a better path out there. So I start to think about that, and from a youth and from a teenager, we worry about cannabis hurting our minds before we're 21, like kind of slowing down things. We're still experiencing growth. So when I think about all the information you're providing, which is non-psychoactive cannabinoid medicine, I think about my own family struggle and how we definitely need that more than we need Western medicine, more than we need Prozac, or if we need to sleep, we don't need benzos, we don't need all these things that they're struggling so hard to sell us. And it's like, I'd rather just go kick it with Izzy. I really appreciate you.
Yeah. With kids, the big thing, I know people are always really worried, and I totally understand that hesitation. There's definitely not as much research as we would enjoy, like you like to have before giving children this medication. But, that's why, like you said, these other cannabinoids are so important, because, you can have a little bit of Delta 9, and it's well balanced if you put a bunch of CBD in there too. That's much safer than just being like all or nothing. You can only have Delta 9, or you can have Prozac. Like, that's it. Like, no, there's so many other ones that you can include in there and make it safe, and not have your child feel like very impaired throughout the day by being able to access these other medicinal cannabinoids.
Wow.
So where can folks find you at? You go ahead, you do it, Waxy. She does it way better.
Hold on, I'll do it real quick, and then she.
No, you've already done it enough. She does it way better.
Man, it's my favorite part. Go ahead, Izzy. Where can folks find you?
You can find me at greenbee-learn.com for all kinds of information about the cannabis plant.
See, she did it better because she explained B had two E. Dang it, I was doing it wrong. Folks, you can find Izzy at www.greenbee-learn.com.
There you go.
Thanks, Izzy.
And not exclusively on the Waxy Brown Flower Power Hour. You go out there and grab that energy and grab that education from Izzy, y'all. We're going to take a quick break. Izzy, thanks so much, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
All right. Take us away, Steve.
Go Waxy.
Welcome back to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour. So you folks on the podcast side of things can't see the song, you can't see the songs. The people on the radio can't even see the songs. But you can't hear the songs that we're playing in the middle of it all. But that one was a lot of fun, man. Was Tobacco Road? Or, I don't even know what that was.
Yes, Tobacco Road by Edgar Winter right there.
Do you
It
have
was
somebody
Johnny
on the
Winter's
line?
birthday today. Yeah, we got Alice on the line.
Alice is on the line. I'm
Right?
super stoked
I hope
about
this
that.
is
Yeah.
Alice.
No, yeah, it's good.
Telling me that's Alice.
It is. I love that song. That was just so perfect.
We were
this
having
whole
fun.
episode has been perfect.
Oh,
you
it's
guys
about-
are rocking it.
It's about to get more perfect because Alice, I'll tell you what. So let me introduce everybody who's on the line. This is Alice from Alice CBD. You got two shops, Alice CBD up there in Joplin, and the other one is in
Webb City.
Webb City, which I've never been to Webb City. I don't know what that is.
That was your
but-
first one, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Open 4/20/2019. That's the home of the green couch that you got to sit on for a little bit there, Waxy, that we pulled up to the mall.
Yeah, we actually went up and did a pop-in with her for an Alice CBD pop-in at the mall, and that was the most fun I've ever had because normally malls kick me out pretty quick. So I was up there for an extended amount of time, which in a mall is very inappropriate for me. But I had a blast, though, because let me tell you why I had fun, Alice, because normally in a mall, I'm just walking and my wife is shopping, and I just, don't really do a lot. But what I got to do in that mall checked off a bucket list for me. I got to sell cannabinoids in a mall, in a Joplin mall, which is, to me was pretty wild, man.
And you got to play a mannequin.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say, getting to be the live mannequin in the window.
Yeah, I did get to play mannequin. I stood still while people walked by, and as soon as like a little small child would stare at me for long enough, I'd just move and sip the cup, which I had a cup in my hand. I got to go a step further and say that I had a cup in my hand that half of it was from the slushy shop next door, and the other half was some cannabinoids.
V8.
V8, I said. That's right. V8.
Nug juice.
Kept me straight. Yeah, the nug juice. That's right. So anyway, long story short, we've had a lot of fun introducing Missouri to cannabinoids and different ways to medicate and different ways to experience, what we need in life, which is wellness, health, and sleep. So we're on today to talk
Connecting
about
through laughter.
Right, through laughter.
I was going to say, where's the happiness
Right,
involved
we'll meet
right
you.
there?
We'll meet you all at her pop-up. That's where the happiness was for me. So I have to say I'm very excited because we're announcing a new product on the show tonight, and this is the first time we've done this where we've announced a product on the show, and I'll tell you why that is because I've put out a few products out there, and I've been involved with a few products, but I've never wanted to just go on the show and just scream it to the top of my lungs that this is the one. So let's talk about this product. Let's talk about cannabinoids and sleep, Alice.
Because this is the one. Scream it.
So talk to us about this.
Okay.
You got a new product out today under the Alice CBD line.
Yes, sir. So, CBN. We talk about CBN for helping with sleep. Its onset can take 30 to 180 minutes. It's actually mildly to moderately psychoactive, meaning, yes, you will feel high. It's more relaxing than CBD, and the cool thing about it is it has some properties of being anti-MRSA, and I only share stuff that I can back up with, peer-reviewed PubMed type of articles.
Anti-MSRA, what's that?
Methylcycline resistant Staph aureus, that stuff kills people. Sepsis and those kind of things. I've actually lost several very close loved ones, including my niece, to just this type of thing. MRSA. Yeah.
And this product can help. Go ahead.
Absolutely. This is from the non-enzymatic oxidation of THC acid form, either through heat or UV. That means you will probably fail a drug test. Unlike CBD, depending on its product, you can not, it's not going to break down and look like THC, but the CBN will. So that being kept in mind. Another cool thing that they have been studying, and I have links on the website or on the Facebook page about it being a TRPV receptor agonist, I believe it is. And it is a thermosensor. So they are looking at it being very helpful with burns, and I've already been using it topical for a few different things, and it's freaking magic.
So I'm glad you didn't say the rest of that word again. But anyways, so your medicine that you're coming out with for sleep.
First off, a little backstory there. Sometimes Alice believes so strongly in her cannabinoids that she will F them. She will drop an F-bomb on her cannabinoids because they're that important to her. And then we've seen it, and we love that. We love that about it. She's the CBF. Okay.
Yes.
We use the word funk around here. You know, we're going to funk you up, okay? So.
Yep.
Okay, so the combination
up.
the combination of cannabinoids that you've got in your sleep medication, or your sleep formula, what is that combination then?
And you know, I'm not even calling it sleep because, you know, we don't want to get in trouble with FDA and all this stuff. But this formula that is just basically called Z's, take that to whatever you want it to mean, but it has CBD and CBN, and it's a 1-to-1 ratio, and they're finding that has been very helpful for people that want to unwind, to rest, maybe shut down the mind. And when you can do those things and you get your body very relaxed, because for me it actually works better on nerve pain than even THC. Sometimes THC will aggravate my nerve pain, but this CBN just whoosh, just drops me into that relax mode. I can't help but to drift off.
It makes me wonder, Alice, just to be real, like I know this is off topic and off script, but I deal with our restless leg syndrome terribly. Would this possibly be a product?
I would try it, and I would try it between the toes as well, oral and between the toes. There's some magic that happens putting it through the bottom of the feet or in between the toes or in the belly button when you're trying to help stuff in the gut and in the back.
Watch out, Mrs. Waxy. You're putting that in between my toes tonight.
Oh, and just to let Jackie know, in case those methods don't work, if you can't go in and you can't go on, you can always go up.
Oh, girl. Okay, all right. So back to this new product. It's a tincture, not a.
You can put it in a gel cap.
Not a suppository. It's a tincture.
You can put it
We could joke about suppositories all we want, but it's a viable method for cannabis. Let's just be real.
I've heard it's very effective, personally.
The truth is in the booth. No, I just
medically
made that up.
it is.
Don't repeat
this
that.
This is why we do it at the hospitals, not with cannabis, but soon we will.
So let's talk about this new product, because I'll be honest, folks, it's available right now if you're listening to at www.waxybrownsflowerpowerhour.com. Over in the stash area, we've got a special deal for you for this product. Tell them about the product, Alice.
Well, it's a CBD CBN product. You take it 30 to 180 minutes before you want to go to sleep.
30-day supply?
Absolutely.
So
and
I'm looking at a bottle, and it's got the little squeezy thing on the top. Is it just like a 1 drop per person?
No.
One
no,
dropper.
On the back, I believe that it says 1/2 of a dropper full to 1 dropper full, or we say 1/2 of a milliliter to 1 milliliter.
Okay.
I like to start with less because you can always add more,
Right.
and you may stretch it out to go further. And with the special deal we have right now, I mean, you might as well get 2 because your spouse, they're going to want it too. And then, you know, you can absolutely use it topically if needed for other things.
Yep. Other I heard that was in quotations right there. Other things. Appreciate it.
No,
Alice.
No.
Alice, where can people find you? Because this is just one of few many items that you have on your shelves and stuff.
Right. I have CBN gummies. I have CBN paste where it's in a very thick crude oil, basically straight from the plant, where it has all of these flavonoids, canaflavin A, canaflavin B, the oleic acids and omega-3s and omega-6s, those things that help the body absorb it and use this just basically straight from the plant. You know, we have this on my website at www.alicecbd.com, as well as in my 2 locations in Joplin and Webb City.
That's right. And you guys can find that deal on that product, that sleep product we've been talking about at www.waxybrownsflowerpowerhour.com, where you can also find all kinds of cool products and really cool Easter eggs. Jump in there, have your session, and have fun on the website. Alice, thank you so much for stopping in. We always appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right, we're going to
Bye-bye.
catch a quick break.
Bye-bye.
You guys are listening to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour on K-Kid 92.9. We'll be right back with you. Welcome back to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour. Man, I got to tell you, do y'all ever wonder where that comes from? Flower Power Hour?
Well, what do you mean where it comes
Where
from?
the name comes from, Flower Power Hour, right? Well,
Well,
yeah,
there
Flower
was-
Power is the 60s and all that,
Right.
but truth be told, it comes from an old radio. I bet you were going to click on it. You were going to do this, but an old radio show back in the, I want to say before even Depression era, when there was a Flower Power flower company that put on a radio show back then. And if
King
you
Biscuits.
King Biscuits. That's
That's
what it
right.
was. Yeah, King,
Biscuit
Biscuits.
Flower Hour.
Did you just make that up? No, you didn't.
No, that's real.
I mean, how
No.
did you
No.
look? See, the man doesn't use Google or Facebook or anything, so it freaks me out when he just knows things. So I'm over here looking at his hands like, did you just look that up somewhere? Like, but no.
It was the King Biscuit Flower Hour.
Flower Hour. That's what
Right.
it was, right?
It was, and it was that's who sponsored whatever show that hour show of radio was,
Well-
and they sponsored it across the country.
This show is ridiculously sponsored by Flower Power, but not the same kind of flower. But I mean,
But I'm sure you can make like that kind of a powder out of it to bake with and stuff like that if you really wanted
I'm
to.
positive that this team right here could figure it out. But all right, so
a bread loaf.
I got Billy back here ready to hit buttons, but we're talking about groceries. Let me bring you guys up to speed. So last weekend, Billy and I traveled up to see Latitude Dispensary at the lake, right? And Latitude, I love those guys at the lake because they've got this slogan that says "Get here, Latitude, get here." And when I got there, I understood what we were looking at. Now, truth be told, we are a bunch of stoners, showed up without a whole lot of really good quality equipment. So we're going to walk you through a visit that we did with them, and it's going to be pretty cool. We're gonna see the front of it, and then we're going to take you inside their station there where they serve everybody. And we're going to be with Dimitri and all those guys. We had a little section of this where we were going to show you the event itself, but our audio got a little trippy because it was a busy place, man, which is really cool. But anyway, here we go. Here's your visit to Latitude. Hey everybody, it's Waxy. I'm out here at Latitude Dispensary in Lake of the Ozarks. I love these guys, the slogan for these guys. It's Latitude, get here. So we got here. So we're gonna take you guys for a walk around. I want to say right off though, any dispensary that's throwing an event and has munchies on deck is amazing, right? So these guys have Young Dogs, street food, and catering. We got a couple bratwursts here. It's pretty wild, man. Delicious food, but that's how they're doing it, man. They're serving up the munchies, doing it real well. What's up, guys? Yeah, man. All right, Latitude is really cool, too. Like, they're down here at the lake, so they kind of have that boathouse feel, which is pretty rad. We're going to go inside and check it all out, and there's some cool events going on. They've got vendors in here that from some companies like Timeless, who have great cartridges and different products out there, as well as some mom and pop shops. So we're going to go take a look. Let's go check them out. After we get done talking to them, we're going to get to go inside and shop a little bit as well. All right, we're going to get to go inside and experience Latitude Dispensary. Let's try it out. What's up, man? This is Nick.
Nick.
All right, we'll make sure we don't get any patients in the shop. We're going to go check all this out. So this is Latitude. I love this dispensary because when you think about a lot of the dispensaries out there, they kind of have that clinical feel. These guys said, no way. We're going to have fun with this. We're going to make it a great experience for the patients. So let's take a look. What's up, Dimitri? What's up, Wax? This is Dimitri. Dimitri's going to tell us a little bit about some of the products and stuff. Good.
I think you guys said the 5-for-1 was the best, right?
So,
I like that one.
This is their coolers. They've got all kinds of good products in here, including all your cannabis soft drinks, which are like a super rising market in the cannabis space. Yeah. You guys saw a lot of that?
Oh yeah, a lot. Especially here at the lake in the summertime, people like to take a cooler out and fish a little bit, relax.
And these are chocolate bars?
Chocolate bars, high dose chocolate bars. Lemonades, flavored waters, got your full spectrum of concentrates. We even have a non-alcoholic THC beer called Mohai.
A non-alcoholic THC beer. Now see, that's the future right there.
5 milligrams THC, 0 ABV.
There's a lot of studies out there that say that when legal cannabis hits a state, that alcohol sales drop and cannabis sales go up. And that's one of the reasons right there.
Addiction drops,
very
cannabis
cool.
usage rises. Full spectrum of concentrates, obviously.
Good stuff. What else do we got? Are we allowed to follow you?
I just was curious. It's not going to be like over the top.
Cartridges. We got flour from all the farms you can want.
Yeah, you've got Proper, you've got Cincy, you've got C4, Haze in here.
Not at all. No, I don't.
Vivid. We love Vivid Extracts. We love all their products as well.
And we're the only dispensary on the lake to carry vertical.
So the only dispensary to carry vertical, that's these guys here?
Yes,
very cool.
St. Joseph, we're the only dispensary on the lake to have.
Very cool. Illicit flower. What do you think about the Sundro cannabis?
Love it. Love it. It's a crowd favorite. And we are also the only ones in the state right now with select nanobites. Fast-acting gummies. Takes less than 45 minutes to kick in.
Right, no more waiting two hours for your cannabis to kick in. And they got about every cartridge that you could imagine up here as well.
Best prices, we got Vivid, Head Change, Illicit, Select,
any
Clear.
Any crowd favorites?
We love Head Change, Vivid, and Select over here. Timeless is also a house favorite and great partners of ours.
Yeah, we love Timeless. I think Tim from Timeless is going to be on the show soon too.
Jimi G.
Yeah.
Crowd favorite.
Very cool.
Absolutely.
Well, that's Latitude Dispensary. And that's the kind of store we dig, man. There's no hole in the wall. You reach out, your cannabis comes through. You get to hang out with everybody in here. It's a great scene. They've got great big video monitors for all the stuff. They got music playing up here. That's pretty wild, man. So this is Latitude. You guys, we're gonna cut back to a commercial here in just a second. But you guys make sure if you're at Lake of the Ozarks, you stop by and see Dimitri and the crew out here at Latitude. They really know what they're doing out here. And I love their slogan. Get here. You guys, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back with you. Hey, everybody. everybody? Welcome back to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, where we just took a trip around Latitude. But I've got somebody super special on the line, our special Ray of Sunshine. Ray, you there from Weed, Weather, and Whatever?
I am here.
From Weed, Weather, and Whatever. You know, I gotta wonder sometimes, like, how you came up with the name of that one. Like, that your podcast name is incredible. Like, I get it, www.ray, but like the Weed, Weather, and Whatever. Like, I kind of get that when you watch it, because it's like you do talk about weed, you do talk about weather, and then there's 90% of it is like whatever Ray's hip to at that moment.
Exactly.
And that's where the fun's at. That's where the fun lies. So I just took my listeners on a trip around Latitude Dispensary in Lake of the Ozarks, and it was pretty cool, Ray. It was like different than a lot of the medical dispensaries we see. Like, when we think about medical cannabis and we think about recreational cannabis, we're kind of talking about two totally different vibrations, right?
So, absolutely.
So I looked at those guys, and it's like they're ready for that adult use. The cannabis is out there. It's not one of those really medical white wall places. Do we have Can Convict Project on the line as well?
Should have. Chris, are you guys there?
I don't even know.
Well, there's
anyway.
the first.
But Ray,
back
anyway.
to whatever.
Back to whatever.
Back
I
to
mean,
whatever.
I that's who I assumed it was. And I didn't. Yeah, I was just
I was worried some
right
goofball
in.
was on there.
I'm just doing my job, Waxy. Don't yell at me on the air, please.
It's all good. It's all good. So Ray, I gotta ask you, Ray.
Yes, sir.
Ray, let's bring it home. What's a perfect dispensary experience look like for you? When you walk in a dispensary, what's it look like? What's it feel like? What's the vibe? The music? The bud tenders? I'm just curious. Because my expectations in this industry are probably a little different than some people. So I'm wondering, what's the perfect dispensary experience for Ray?
Mine is 100% a cross between the vibe that people give off and the customer service. I think customer service is number one. Like, if I walk into a dispensary and they're rude to me, I will walk out.
Yep.
Straight up, bye. I will not buy anything, medical or not, because there's a bunch of them. I'll go somewhere else. And on that note, you know, it's good to have, you know, I understand that not everybody's bud tender is going to know everything about everything. That's not possible.
Right.
But knowledge goes a long way. And if they can't at least try to find out the answer, I don't feel right shopping with them. So.
When you shop, do you go after terpenes or do you go for high THC count? Do you ask, like, what flavor
That's so funny
because
I always ask my patients that when they come in. Man, mine's all smell and taste. I'm 100%, terpene. If it doesn't smell right to me, I don't want it. I'm very
that's
particular.
true, because like THC count, you can just smoke more if you want more THC count. But
exactly.
You can't replace flavor, right?
And sometimes those higher THC percentages, I get anxiety. Like, it gives me a panic attack.
That's
so
real too.
I have to be careful.
And so the entourage effect is real, right? Like, we want to make sure that's got high THC as well as, like, well, not high THC, but good THC counts. And a good THC count is paired up with a good, CBD, CBG, CBN count as well.
Exactly. Yeah, you want it to have everything in it that you want it to do.
Yeah.
And they should hopefully be able to explain what that means, when they're helping people.
I know Tim was stoked the other day. Tim came into the shop and he said, "Waxy, check these pre-rolls out." I don't know where you got them from, but you were really stoked. I said he, like you're not here. You were really stoked because the testing on the label was more than just a THC count.
Yeah, it was the only pre-roll that they had that had the label with the terpenes on it. And I'm like, I want that one.
You didn't even care about anything else other than, that one went above and beyond.
Well, totally. But again, I think that falls back to the customers that are growing. They're using labs that are giving them the terpenes, which are very important, because that's not a required in the COA test.
Let's make that real clear. I want to make this real clear. What Ray just said is most important to her is not required.
No, that's exactly why the IDU and what Ronan's done is so critical in those algorithms, right?
The International Dankness Unit, that's what Sundro Cannabis uses to distinguish their terpene values. It's real.
Which makes
So
sense.
I agree with you guys 100%. Like, I'm tired of chasing the THC count. I'm ready to start chasing these flavors and these different effects because we all have ailments, and that makes sense. But yeah, so I just, Ray, I know I don't always have like a specified question for you or who's on your podcast today, but today I wanted to know what's Ray's experience with a dispensary sound like, and it sounds like just what I'm looking for: a decent amount of customer service, some knowledge, viable prices that I can reach, and a good time. And
exactly.
Who we have now, Steve? Oh, nobody. Okay. But yeah, I agree with you 100%. Like, forget about it. Forget about your THC counts. Forget about all that. Let's go towards flavor.
They're bound and determined, but it just ain't going to happen today.
And you'll get those people in the dispensary. That's all they care. I'll literally, hand it to them to smell or to, look at. They're like, I don't care what's the percentage. Every time I'm just like, oh, ouch. But I get it. Everybody's got their own way of determining what's for them. So
that's right.
I think it's a matter of everything.
All right. Well, it's been a wild show. Ray, we appreciate you. You guys check out Weed, Weather, and Whatever. Folks, it's been a wild one, man. I'll catch you guys next Wednesday.
Bye-bye, Ray.
Bye, guys. Love you.
Thanks. Love you. Thanks for listening in, guys. Education, information, you got it all over here with a little bit of music. You're listening to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour on K-Kid 92.9.